Hello out there in YouTube world. Today is March 5th. I just watched the speech from the White House given by, I guess, a spokesperson, Caroline Levy. Now, what I seen was absolute disgusting. This lady, I don't know how she can still sit there and lie to her people. Like, it must be getting harder and harder for her to, play this role. I don't know how she doesn't resign one day. She's not going to be able to put up with this for 4 years straight. Like, this is just a circus show every day. Today we just got big news here in Canada that Trump has halted the tariffs for the auto sector for Canada and Mexico. So no 25% tariff on any of the imports for Canadians and Mexicans in the auto sector, which will save a lot of jobs and it will, bring back the economy a little here. Now, what else I noticed is she got asked by a reporter about when will the effects of the lower costs on everything that Trump is talking about kick in and she answers like she says, well, that's kind of hard to put a finger on, or that's kind of hard to date and put a time and a date to. Well, listen, your people deserve some type of answer. You can't keep shrugging them off and saying, well, we don't know. That's essentially what she's saying. So people are demanding, okay, you say you're going to do this, you say you're going to do that. Now just tell us when, maybe even a ballpark figure. But she refuses to tell her people when this date or ballpark, figure, general margin, she can't give them any indication of when. This year, next year, 2 years. In my personal opinion, it'll be on year number 4 and it'll be day 364, okay? There's just, it might not ever kick in, but if it is going to kick in, it'll kick in right before the next election, okay? So another reporter brought up how the border is not the issue here because it's only 1% out of all hard drugs that are fentanyl that are getting into USA from Canada, okay? And that is a fact. If you break it down, all the hard drugs here, okay? We're talking cannabis, we're talking heroin, MDMA, all these hard drugs. They're still getting in there. And they're getting in there by the masses. So you haven't been able to correct that problem where all the other hard drugs are still getting in. But you're going to sit there and try and make this whole trade tariff war about fentanyl. What do you think? We're not dealing with the fentanyl crisis? What are we doing? Blaming ourselves? Like, obviously the fentanyl is coming in from somewhere. China, USA. We're not, holding guns to you guys going, hey, it's all you guys, it's all you. We don't put the blame on anybody. We just know we have to correct it. So Trump instantly jumps to conclusions, because we know he's not great at, finding facts at all. So this guy here, instantly points the finger at the wrong person or, you can't ever point the finger at yourself as well. Listen, drugs come in multiple ways, okay? They could come in from, shipping containers. They could come in the mail. So your people that are accepting letter mail are not catching it. So there's many different ways, right? Water, not all your security guards on the water are going to catch every single boat, this and that. Like, it can happen, right? So they're not all by the land crossing, and it looks like he's trying to focus more on the land crossing. Let's see. What else here? Basically, Caroline there, I can't see her staying in that position any longer. Like, she's gonna have to resign because, like, eventually the people are gonna catch her line and, spot indifferences in her stories and stuff, and there's no way she's gonna be able to hold that. She's doing a good job, but it's only 6 weeks in, and he's already given her a lot on the plate. Let's see if she can she can last a year. I doubt it. And today she was trying to bash again tactics, bashing the last administration. Listen, that's not going to get you guys anywhere. You guys focusing on, the little things, the very little things. There's also a problem where Trump does not want to fix the small little things first, because those are so tedious and hard. You got to dig hard into things and stuff. He just likes to fix one big generic issue rather than tackling all the little minor things that add up to the one big thing, right? So there would be too much, research and dedicated teams that have to, report back to him and tell him all these things, and then he has to make an educated guess and stuff. He's not all about that, He doesn't want to do any of that. He's skipping over the hard parts, right? He just wants to tackle, something that's too big, right? Like tackling, tariffs, and he wants to do tariffs and go after Panama and stuff. You have other issues that are massive, like they're in category, they're smaller than tackling, seizing a border or seizing a country and all that stuff. But he's trying to overwhelm people or put the big things in front of people's faces so that they don't see all the other little things like healthcare, homelessness, all those little things, right? Or the welfare, not the welfare, the protection of kids at schools and stuff like that from gun violence. He's not even focusing on those types of issues. He just wants to throw the big things in front of your face, like, oh, look at the Panama, the Panama Canal. We need to take over that, and Greenland and this and that, and Canada, tariffs. Like, tackle all the little things, the other things.
And the president just posted on social media that he had spoken with Prime Minister Trudeau. He says he's not satisfied with what the Prime Minister has said when it comes to fentanyl, but less than 1%, as you know, less than 1% of the fentanyl seized last year was in the northern border. What else does Canada need to do?
Well, the president did just put out a statement on his call with the governor, Justin Trudeau, as he calls him, of Canada. And he said that he was not pleased, as you said. He said it's not good enough. He told Prime Minister Justin Trudeau that directly. The call ended in a somewhat friendly manner, as the president said, but he's not going to stop standing up for the American people. And to answer your question directly, when it comes to fentanyl, for the last 4 years, unfortunately, our neighbors to the north and the south, Canada and Mexico, respectively, have allowed America to be a dumping ground, not just for illegal aliens, but for illegal, poisonous, deadly fentanyl, which is now the #1 killer of young people. Knows someone in our lives who has been killed at the hands of this deadly poison. There needs to be repercussions for that. The president feels very strongly about it.
But Caroline, respectfully, it's just 43 pounds that were found last year. That's less than a carry-on suitcase. Is that a lot of fentanyl compared to, say, Mexico? The vast majority of the fentanyl is brought in through Mexico, not Canada. So what else does Canada need to do?
Well, I just told you, last year alone, there was a 2,000% increase in illegal fentanyl. You're asking me for what the president's justification is for these tariffs. It's not up to you. You're not the president, Gabe. And frankly, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to the families in this country who have lost loved ones at the hands of this deadly poison. If you talk to them, and this president has, they are grateful that they finally have a president who is standing up to both Canada and
we do not negotiate with terrorists. Then why is the U.S. now negotiating directly and for the first time ever with Hamas?
Well, when it comes to the negotiations that you're referring to, first of all, the special envoy who's engaged in those negotiations does have the authority to talk to anyone. Israel was consulted on this matter. And look, dialogue and talking to people around the world to do what's in the best interest of the American people is something that the president has proven is what he believes.
I told you it was going to get greater or juicier in the last video. And here we are today talking about, the spokesperson at the White House today and Trump eating up his words again. So somebody in the White House or somebody in his circle gave that guy's head a good shake and said, listen, Trump, you cannot be doing this to the world or to Canada with these tariffs. So you're going to have to eat your own words again and not inflict a tariff on the auto sector for Canada and Mexico. And that's what happened today. So that is now the second time that Trump has had to eat his words on this whole tariff situation. So we'll see what happens in the coming days, because I'm sure Trump will slip up or will be making his voice heard through whatever it is, Truth Social or something on TV. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.